Hi, today we're going to show you how to edit the slideshow plugin, and you see here we have one on the home page. You can see here in this area here where the images are changing, and they change automatically, or you can click them and they will change, or backwards. And there's a number of options with regards to this plugin. So we're going to jump into admin. I've already logged in, so here we go. Now the slideshow plugin is part of the Display Buddy series, so here you have the Display Buddy series, and any of the other plugins in that series will be in this list, but the one we're interested in is the slideshow plugin. So if we click on there, we'll see we have one slideshow added already to this setup, and that is the homepage slideshow. So what we can do is we can go in and have a look at the homepage slideshow. And this is called the group, which basically gives us the settings for the whole group of images and the images themselves. So we have the dimensions, and obviously the dimensions are going to fit the theme. In this particular theme, it's 538 pixels wide by 362 pixels high. Now the trick here is that when you're uploading an image, if it is less than these dimensions, your image will appear with white space around it, so that's not so cool. You can see there that tool tab. Images will not be upscaled larger than the original, so you want the images to be larger than that. Ideally, the best way to go, and the way I would always recommend, is pre-crop your images to the size that is here, and that way you'll end up seeing the bit of your image that you actually want to see. And also, you really should never upload images over probably about 600-700 pics, because the file size will be too big, and although this plugin will reduce the file size, still it will slow down your website, and that's not a good thing to do. Once again, we recommend Photoshop and use the cropping tool and the save to web to manipulate your images. It costs a little bit more, but it's a great bit of software. Down below here we have two slideshow modes. One is slider, and this is the one we would use predominantly, and one is cycle, and it shuffles images around. You can play with those and you'll see the sort of functions you get, but notice if you do change them you get a different set of settings. So we're going to go back to slider. Fade, in terms of the slider mode settings, is the most common, but you can have a whole bunch of other ones. So you can play with those. Once again, I would suggest don't get too fancy. Otherwise, your site might lose some of its appeal and some of its professionalism. Horizontal alignment depends where you want to align your slides. Enable direction. We notice that when we click those arrows, the slides moved sideways, forwards and backwards. So I normally leave that on. You can have it on all the time so people can see it. That's obviously always. We usually have it on hover, so if the person puts their mouse on the image, they can see it. You can show some navigation below the slideshow, and if you tick yes, that gives you some options, bullets or even thumbnails. Normally I would have that set to no. Just have a look at those. You have some options there. Slices is the number of divisions, if you like. This is particularly relevant for some of the options up here, such as slice down and slice down left. If you're having a slice down, this will be the number of slices horizontally across the image. So if you want a nice checkerboard effect, that looks pretty cool. Animation speed set at ½ a second. Obviously if you have images you might want a little bit more than that. And pause time between slide changes, once again another option you can have a play with. Moving up here to our images, you see that we can move those around. There's already 4 images added for this slideshow. We can move them in between if we want and save the order. We can delete an image if we want to by clicking here and clicking remove. We won't want to do that. We can edit our image settings, and we get the usual WordPress box here where we can give it a title. And we can give the image a caption if we want some text to appear on the image when it's displayed, and also a link, so we can have a clickable link where if this image is clicked it might go to a particular page. Particularly useful if perhaps we're trying to draw a customer to a particular page by clicking on the image. Maybe we've got a sale and we want to promote a particular range of goods. So you don't have to have a link, that's not essential. You'll see some of these have no links, some have links, so you could have links or no links. Now if we want to add an image, I'm going to add an image here. What we can either add that image from our library, so our media library, so anything that has already been uploaded to our website, or we can add images from other places. So I'm going to add this particular image down here, which is not there, so I'm going to click show and I'm going to select this image. So that image has now been added, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that up to the top and I'm going to save the order so it knows. So now we're going to go back to our theme and I'm going to do a refresh of the screen so we can see that display. There's our new image. Notice because it's not the right size, it's leaving a big patch of the background behind it, so that's not so cool. There's our title that we put on inside the editor, grass on black background. That wasn't our title, sorry, it was our description. So you can see that if your picture is not the right size to start off with, or is less than the right size, you may end up with something that is showing the background, which is not such a good thing. So we're going to go back into our slideshow and we're going to click here and remove this image. Alright, so this one is displaying already, this slideshow. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and remove this from the home page, or at least show you how to add it to the home page. First we'll have to remove it, of course. So to do that, what we are going to do is we are going to go into Appearance, Widgets, which is where most of the content on the home page is going to be able to be changed. And this one, we know pretty much commonly that home top left is the top left area, and we can see what we've done here is we have what's called a shortcode. Now I'm going to take you back to the slideshow and show you what we mean by a shortcode. A shortcode, as you can see here, is a way that WordPress knows to display something. So if I was to copy that shortcode, pb_slideshow space group equals inverted commas 0, that is a code that says to WordPress, display this slideshow. So we're going to go back and have a look at that. Now if I was going to put that in a post or a page, that is what I could use, or I could use it here, as of course it is used. However, there is in recent versions of this a widget, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the widget, which is the slideshow widget, and it will give you a selection of the slideshows that are available. There's only one available, so that's the one it's going to choose, which is homepage. So I'm just going to refresh that. And once again, you can see there's our image. So we're just using the widget that exists. Now, if we go back into here, we're going to leave that, go to a page. Let's have a look at one of our pages, and we'll put it on a page that really doesn't make much sense. We'll put it onto the contact page. So we can now insert this code into our contact page if we like. So we're going to put it above the form. Whoops. We don't have that code anymore because we've copied that one. So what we're going to do is to go back to our slideshow. Leave this page, we don't want to save those changes. Alright, so we're going to copy this shortcode, go back to our pages, go to our contact page, add some space in there, and add our slideshow. Now we will go to our contact page here, and there is our slideshow. So we've inserted that shortcode on that page, so the slideshow shows on that page. So what we're going to do is, once again, remove that and bring that back up there. So our page is now clean. Now very quickly, we'll just run through quickly how you would create a new slideshow, and that's very obvious, so we won't go through the whole process. Group name, let's call this one contact page, and add group. So there we go, we have a new slideshow called contact page, and we can click edit group, and we get the same editor where we can add our images and we can change our settings. That's the slideshow plugin. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and you've learnt something from it, and you can go and see some of our other tutorials and check them out and see if they help you to change your site or solve some of your problems. Thank you.